Greetings everyone, this is Lodrik again and this is our game War in the Pacific Admins Edition in the match against Dojo. Today we will check the turn number 39, means 21st and 22nd February 1942. So this turn will see more or less I think the additional activity near Port Moresby. Maybe Java have already some I think normally I still unloading in Java, not so sure. Okay, Dojo give up Yenan. He simply walk out of the base and I take the chance and move some fast tank units inside to secure the base. It's additional points, and simply if you are the owner of the base, then normally you have a more easy way to supply your units. And I don't know how Dojo will supply his units if no base is nearby, so this will normally hurt his ability to keep his unit in a good shape. We see a lot of Dojo submarines around Rabaul and Port Moresby, so I think because no submarines show off so far in the area of the Philippines and Japan, Korea, China, so Dojo focused all his American submarines, let's say, American submarines for the defense and interdiction of my shipping in the greater area of Rabaul and to protect maybe also Port Moresby. But if this will be successful, especially because all of these submarines, they normally use a Mark 14. So even if they find a target and hit the target, often there's no explosion, and then means also no damage against Japanese ships. But what else you want to do with the submarines? There is normally, I think, only two big solutions. Try to help in the defense of the island change of this area, or send them all to the Philippines and Japan and try to hunt cargo shipping. So our Jack airplanes, they also detect some other cargo or task forces of Dojo, but it's hard for our cruisers. They seem to... we're too far away. We can detect them, but we maybe not can catch them. But if our scout planes detect the Dojo's task forces, it will maybe also scare away these task forces. And depending if they are on the way to Rangoon, then turn around. If they're already on the way back, then we win nothing. But maybe we can mess up with Dojo's plan to reinforce and bring additional supplies or fuel to Rangoon. And this will maybe help me in the long run to take Burma more easily. Okay, this is now the beginning of the air war, and we can see that our carrier fleet, I think first, the last day we start first from northwest position to strike on Colombo. The second day we coming from the west position, and now we coming more or less from the source. So this is now the third day of the airstrike of Colombo. And maybe Dojo brings some additional fighter forces. I'm not more sure how strong was the defense last turn. But we will see if our Zeros can get rid of them. I mean, Hurricane 2Bs are normally, I think, the best airplanes Allies can have so far. I even don't know if the Americans have something better than the Truck 2. The Hurricane Truck 2B is simply really there. This is about, I think, for every Hurricane they're really only short range fighters. They are something like interceptors. I think they have a normal range of 3, and I don't know even if you can use drop tanks, but then it's maybe only a range of 4, maximum 5. So very short range fighters. You cannot really use them for only every strike escort. So if you need some fighters to escort your bombers, then you must forget the Hurricane. So, and the Zero is, I think, more or less the total opposite. The design of the Zero is more or less a high maneuver. So the airplane can maneuver very well, have a long range, and it's light, so means no armor, not many hit points. And the Hurricane 2B is more or less armed, a lot of hit points. They are both, I think, the same speed, so they are not faster, but a very short range. And the Hurricane have simply, I think this have now 12 light machine guns. And we have only 2 light machine guns and 2 heavy cannons. But the cannons, you can see if they hit this Hurricane. This is only, the game don't tell you with what kind of arms you hit here something. With the Navy, or if you have a Navy battle, then you always get the feedback what shell or torpedo or whatever hit your ship. In this case you often only get the hit, but you don't know if it was the light machine gun or the cannons. But I would simply expect if a 20mm gun hits the airplane, it's, I think, often a kill. And if you only see light damage, then it's maybe only the light machine guns. But maybe there's a way to find out this, but it doesn't matter at the end. You will get the final feedback if the airplane have to return to base, if the airplane will be destroyed, or if the airplane can still stay in the battle. Like now, the airplane have to return. So far it looks okay. Again, the next Hurricane must return, but we also losing now. I mean, we slowly also losing our fighters, running out of ammunition, or have a mechanical failure, or also gets damaged, gets killed, something like this. So the difference really to 2B and 2A, I think, is only this have 8 light machine guns and this have 12 light machine guns. I think there's not really much difference between this. So there is also the Hurricane 1A, and I think the 1A is a little slower and have only 6 machine guns. But I don't know even more what. But after the 2B, I don't know more if it's the Hurricane 3 or Hurricane 5. But the next upgrade the Allies get, but I think this is first in July or September 42. Then the British are switching this 12 light machine guns and kicks them out, and then I think the Hurricane get 4 20mm cannons. And the 4 20mm cannons, I think, is a better setup. It's I mean, against Japanese like Zeros or Oscar, maybe the many light machine guns are not bad, because Zeros, Oscars, everything, Dojos, also the early editions of Dojos, they all have no armor and they all don't have really many hit points. But later, if Zeros, Oscars, Dojos, they all get the armor, then this kind of weapons will not more have so much impact. But the 20mm cannon will always be a weapon to kill everything. And if I remember right, I think the British are also the only nation they're producing some fighters later with double armor. I think the later editions of Hurricanes and Spitfires or something like this, they not only have one armor plate, then they have 2 armor. And I don't know, I expect that if the airplane have the armor level of 2, that even a 20mm gun will be not more much effective. I mean, you will still make damage, that's for sure. But yeah. Here we can see this was now an even battle. Maybe we damaged many of the Hurricanes, and this is the most important here. I still try to lower the active cap of Dojo, so later if we make this port strike, because last day the port strike was not very successful. I think there was bad weather. Now we have only light rain, this is maybe acceptable. So main purpose is not really to kill here the many airplanes from Dojo, but simply damage them and kick them out of service for one, or best case we kick out the Hurricanes for 2 days. So we lower the cap today and lower the cap tomorrow. So now only 7 Hurricanes left. And here we can also see this as the 2 task forces, and here is also the cruiser formation, and you can see this is simply too far away. This will normally enter Calcutta, I think, next turn already, and this is also half the way to Madras, and I cannot normally come too close to Madras because it's still possible that Dojo have here some navy bombers, and I don't know if it makes sense to try to hunt this. Madras itself, I think the harbor have mines, so I cannot enter the harbor. And if I get here some unlucky hits, maybe it's possible to try to hunt them. The distance is also, even if the ships are not so fast, then I must go full speed, and full speed is always risky, and you burn so many fuel. We will see. Here we can see that more and more of the Hurricanes, they must return to base for damage. I wish only we can have more kills. I mean, we still have a tactical victory, but most of the pilots, they are eager to have more kills, especially against this kind of pig fighters, because every Japanese pilot know already that the British are uneducated farmer boys, and they cannot compare and compete with the glorious Japanese tradition. Here we had now a 0 have to return, but if we are, of course, this is if you have a damaged airplane and you must return, you have to return all these hexes. And so far I know is every hex is a check if the pilot and the airplane, I don't know, the airplane gets destroyed, or if the pilot fail, I don't know how this is calculated, but so far this means longer distance and the damaged airplane have a higher risk to be lost on the way to return to your base, carrier, whatever. And of course, if you fighting in this hex and you are getting damage here, then you don't have a check for this. Then you have only the final check: can the pilot land the airplane, or he will crash the airplane with a landing accident. And then if this happens, I think if the airplane crash via the attempt to land, then there will be the next check if the pilot gets killed, yes or no. So, yeah, but we can see that the zeros now completely get rid of all of the cap. So that maybe if our bombers are coming, then there's really not more much left. And this is a, yeah. Here I use now the first carrier fleet to suppress Dojo's forces and to make a land attack. But it's really not really working well. I think this is now mainly based on this. Dojo's forces are in combat mode. This already will lower the efficiency of any airstrike. In the next is that these units are maybe at least have a fort level 2, maybe fort level 3, something like this. So this will also reduce the losses or damage I can bring to him. And this is now already, I mean, over 1 month in the past for me. You can try this and see how is the damage, and if the weather is okay, because this is now normally good weather, you can expect much better, then it's really not working with airstrikes against this kind of base units and heavy with high fort level. So maybe don't try this for many days. So maybe it would be better to use these carriers more for task force hunting, not for support of this kind of invasion stuff. But it's a little critical now. I land my Navy Guard units, and I simply, based on wrong intelligence information or something like this, and I only have enough forces to hold the line, but we are very equal. I think I have only 10% more power than Dojo, so I must try to bring more fighting forces on my side, and or lower the assault value of Dojo's forces. And because I don't have any units to transport to Port Arthur now these days, I choose the option to throw everything what I have on Dojo's forces and try to bomb them, to shell them, use all my air force and battleships and cruisers to lower the efficiency of Dojo's garrison. We will see how long I have to play this and how fast I can bring additional forces, and if we take Port Arthur before end of the month or first in March, or maybe I never take Port Arthur completely, and it's only we will see. I don't want to spoil this too much. It's only not so easy I expected first, because it was all, I mean, my submarines intercepted a lot of his cargo stuff, so I normally don't expect that there's much supplies left. And here we can see the B-26, the Marauders, attacking our invasion fleet. And this P-26, you can see they're carrying 500 pounds or 250 kilogram bombs, and they are semi-armor piercing, so simply they can penetrate the armor, but they also will explode if they hit some soft targets, so they are more or less very useful for every kind of target. I mean, 500 pounds are normally enough already to hurt. Even heavy cruisers will get damaged. They will not sink immediately, but luckily his attack was not successful. It's heavy rain, so it's not easy maybe to hit for him. But he come from 6,000 feet, this is okay. So this also means that his air strike is above our light flag. So we only can use heavy flag guns now, because the Japanese don't have medium flag. They only have light and heavy. So, but we damage one of his medium bombers, so if you're lucky, this guy will now have a crash landing on the return way. We will see at the end of the turn. And again, Dojo try here to bomb Balikpapan, and it's again a port strike, but out of 25,000 feet. I don't know if this really makes sense. Of course, in this case, I think this means more or less that my flag nearly cannot hit him, but it also means that more or less that he nearly cannot hit me. So he earns. I mean, his pilots get experience for this. That's for sure. So you can also see that I always use Jack airplanes to recon the base, because if you have high detection level, it's always support everything. If you want to make a short bombardment with battleships or cruisers, or if you want to make an airstrike, it's always better if you have high detection level, because simply you know what is the situation, and then your air force and ships can they know where they have to attack. At least they know where they have to fly, and then they try to attack and hit the target. If you have very low detection level, then the pilots more or less, they must guess where they have to attack and must wait very up to the last moment and try to find what makes sense to attack. And then of course you have less efficiency. So have high detection level over a base or a task force simply will increase the possibility to hit something. But here we can see that we have heavy rain, and we bring here 45 medium bombers, and we carry here a lot of bombs, but we make no damage. It's simply related to, I think this is also jungle and fort level and all what I said before. Okay, this is now the second port strike, I think. Or maybe the third, I'm not more sure. And we have only 2 Hurricanes left. And we have a little escort fighters. A little escort fighters I will always try to bring with your task forces if possible. Simply because the enemy cap must fight with escort fighters normally first. And even if you have only a small number, it will slow enemy cap down. But we also just lost at 0. This was a little unlucky. I think escort fighters now is the second already. If your fighters are in escort mode, they are more locked to the bombers. So they're not so flexible, they will not operate with so high efficiency. This is, I think, simply normal. Cap fighters have the advantage against escort fighters. This is why I use also sweep. Okay, now we start bombardment, and we bring a 250 bomb hit on the Prince of Wales, and we destroy some flag guns. Okay, there's a next hit, but you can see this 250 semi-armor penetration bomb is not enough, but with the 800 kilogram bomb you can always penetrate normally the bomb with a ship. So we make an 800 kilogram bomb hit on the Prince of Wales, and there's the next 800 kilogram, and again penetration. So these are now 2 real hits hurt the ship for sure. And now we destroy the radar. Okay. And you also can see that the 800 kilogram bomb is dropping is an AP bomb. So it's a pure armor piercing bomb. This is a GP bomb, it's a general purpose bomb. Means it is a HE bomb normally, it's more or less, it will explode immediately at the moment of impact. So if there's armor, often this kind of bombs, they only explode at the surface of the target and they can make surface damage, but they will never really penetrate the deck armor. And this is the difference. In semi-armor piercing bomb simply will explode, but it have not. The focus is not to kill heavy armor plates. It's only to explode any kind, anyway. So it's something between a general purpose bomb and an armor piercing bomb. It's more flexible, but it's not good for. It's not a. There's no focus behind this bomb. It's only make sure it can penetrate armor, and it can also explode on a cargo ship. Because normally, I don't know if, I think this also maybe here in the game, if you have now an 800 kilogram armor piercing bomb hit a destroyer, but the destroyer have normally no armor deck. So normally this bomb will simply only penetrate the destroyer but will not explode. It is simply straight through the destroyer, hit the bottom of the sea and explode maybe under the destroyer. This can also make damage to the destroyer, but because simply this is armor piercing, but if the armor piercing hits something what is soft, it normally cannot explode. We can see that we still hit here now light cargo ships, and I think AS is assistant to submarine, and there is a mine layer, I think, or minesweeper. I think it was minesweeper. Yeah, AM is a minesweeper. And now again a deck armor, Prince of Wales, but nothing. But here the cargo ships, of course, we can make a penetration, and then we make damage, critical damage. And more cargo ships. And we kill the 40mm anti-aircraft. Maybe these bombs are not really making too much damage, but everything on the surface of the Prince of Wales have now radar is damaged, anti-aircraft stuff is damaged, and there's the next 800 kilogram bomb hit. So I think the Prince of Wales is now in a really bad shape. I think we get 3 torpedo hits on the Prince of Wales, and this is also the reason maybe why Dojo brings the ship here to Colombo and try to fix the flotation damage. But now we're making 2, I don't know more, how many 800 kilogram bomb hits now on the Prince of Wales, maybe 5 or 6 already. And if every bomb will make 5 damage points, this will come close to this will be dangerous. Maybe the Prince of Wales will go down. But the problem is that we had 3 torpedo hits, and torpedo hits go for flotation damage. And the 800 kilogram bombs, they going more or less for engine damage and system damage and for fire, not so much for flotation. So it can happen that we had already high flotation damage, but not so much engine damage, and system damage is more easy to fix. We will see. Anyway, we can see here now that a lot of stuff is heavy damage. Heavy damage. At least 1 destroyer go down, and 1 light cargo ship go down, and 1 more light cargo ship go down. But everything what is here heavy damage, even if it can survive, it is out of the war. I would roughly say at least 1 month, and normally if it's heavy damage you can say 3 months to fix it. And if this is heavy damage, they often have major damage, means these ships cannot repair at the port directly. They normally must go to shipyard. But we also, at least a little damage the shipyard. So there's 4,000 tons less shipyard capacity now. Of course, Dojo can repair every turn 1 shipyard point. So this will not be for a long time be damaged if Dojo won't repair it. And normally for sure you must repair your shipyard. I mean, we saw that the shipyard of Bombay is not so big, and the next big shipyard is normally in Cape Town and Aden. But Aden is also not so big, so normally Cape Town is the next big shipyard for him. Okay, the B-26 are coming back. These are normally good airplanes, but the airplane is only one part of this. You need also some good pilot, and you can see that this time we make a hit. So pitifully. And this is the AK. So this is a military cargo ship. And the only good thing is that this kind of ships are more tough. I mean, they are not real battleships. Of course, they are still cargo ships, but if it's a real AK, it's a military built cargo ship, and they normally have a little more hit points, so they can survive more damage and survive this for at least a short time. And if you bring the damaged ship to a port, then you can start to fix the cargo ship. It's only dangerous if the ship is burning and is on the sea, or if high flotation damage is on the sea. But in the moment you arrive at the port and there's no additional airstrikes, like now in Colombo, then the ships are normally safe. And it's not more important how big is the damage. Okay, we get now something sinking sound, so we know that something just sunk, but it was not a Japanese ship, so must be an ally ship. I mean, I guess now something just sunk in Colombo. Maybe the Prince of Wales, we will see. We have still the 22nd February coming. Okay. This is one of Dojo's lost army group. We catch up the 13th Army coming here, and we defeat them again. We can see that here Dojo have here 1 4-star general and 3 3-star generals. So this is the corps commander, and this is the army commander. So we defeated with one of our Japanese corps. With a 1 3-star setup, we can kill 1 Chinese 4-star setup with all his support stuff. Of course, all these Chinese units are already in a very bad shape, and we are still, I would not say top, but we have enough guys, we have enough supplies, and most important is that the Japanese leaders, the headquarter leaders, they are much better than the Chinese. And I don't know if there's really a chance for the Chinese to change the army leaders to, if there's something better. Okay. Now this is only Dogo. This is all these islands, all these bases. I have normally only. They have no industry or economy value. They are only bases you can control to make sure that there's nothing hiding, and you maybe can use one of these bases or some of these bases to install some scout planes or navy bombers or something like this. Here's the same. Take the base. Make sure it is under Japanese control, but there is no one And I also will not stay there for a long time. Okay, this is now this bombardment attack on Medan, simply because I had a high number of units, but I wasn't sure what Dojo I have here. And but now we can see that there are 2,500 Dutch forces, and they have more attack value than we have. So yeah, Dutch forces have very low morale, but even if you have low morale, similar to Chinese units, if you have enough fort level and the preparation is good, then it's still not easy to break them. Here in yeah, Ambon is still the stalemate. We can see that this is Dojo's 46, we have 104, so we have over double already. So we don't must push more too much. Maybe we need a little more support fire, maybe some cruiser formation can come and help, and maybe if we get this under 40, and then maybe we can try to attack. And this is now this similar to Ambon before. We have here 4 Navy Guard units, and the Dojo have here some mixed forces, but all of Australian. So this is now a Japanese to Australian stuff. And we can see here 193, I have 238, so this is where the attack value is equally. But this defender forces, no, he is attacker, so Dojo have this 193, but I think he have at least a fort level 2, maybe fort level 3. So this means this will be not a 200, this will be maybe like 400 or 600. And he also have the defense, I think this is jungle, so then double again. So, but I think it will not double then double, so I think it's always maybe if we have fort level 2, it's normally then 200, 200, 200 is 600, plus terrain is 200 again, so I think then it's like count like 800. And we can see that because he has the fort level, he is his bombardment attacks have a higher efficiency. Also, Japanese Navy Guard units, I think they have only mortars, so 80mm mortars, and I think this Australian forces, they have at least 100, I don't know, 120, 150mm real artillery stuff. So that this will not work for our favor to stay there and wait a very long time. But to attack now will also not help. I don't think that I can break something like this. Normally I would always say have a double the attack value of the defender. This is the minimum you need. Often you need even triple. Okay, so means this is now maybe the last base here in the northern area of the Philippines. Oh, there's also I think some manpower or minerals, resources, but nothing overcritical. So maybe any navy engagement or some submarines. We will see. No. Looks like the night is over. Yeah. At least no night engagement. I think I try to hunt down some of Dojo's cargo stuff, but yeah, this cannot be always successful. No navy engagement. This time only air force strike. So yeah, we know there are some submarines. So this is a Dojo's scout planes from Soyabaya. They're detecting our incoming invasion fleet for Java. But there's not much really you can do. I have no carrier here. If you have carrier forces, maybe you can park there and try to intercept this Navy scouts. But it is never really so successful. You can never really get rid of all the Navy scouts. Yeah, this is a Dojo try to attack with 3 Hudson bombers. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I mean, of course, you can hope that these 3 bombers will attack Bangkok and sink or destroy something super important, but as I don't expect this. And normally, most of the time, you have in Bangkok at least something like, I think these are also training units. So a unit is on training, is not have no guarantee to intercept something, and I think even if the unit can intercept, not all airplanes will be active. I think maybe only 10% of the units in training will really attack the bomber formation, because their main purpose was normally training. But even if you attack this kind of bombers, they already have a disturbance. So the efficiency to later attack the base is lower. Let's see this. We cannot really stop them. We only maybe damage them a little. Yeah, you can see we damage them here a little, but also Dojo's attack is not successful. Let's say this. Maybe there's a purpose behind this, but this you must ask the Dojo. I mean, I attack here because my purpose is simply keep the fatigue of these units high, keep their morale low, and slow them down. And of course also try to damage them, or even destroy some units, like here. But we bring simply other numbers on the target. And we not really kill too much. The weather was light rain, so it's okay. Yeah, and you can see we bring really many bombs here with us. So to use 3 or 4 or 5 bombers to hit something will normally often not have a big impact. I mean, the B-26 Marauders, they just hit the cargo ship, but these are really good top of the art bombers. These Hudsons are, I think, outdated. And the Marauders, they can attack without interception. They don't get attacked, so they can come and they can keep their formation and have the best possible hit chance if the pilots know what they are doing. And these Hudsons, they maybe don't have the skills, they have a very old shitty airplane, and they have additionally some fighters attacking them, so they really have a tough time. So, more bombardment. Here, and yeah, this is I think more or less an accident. I think we had here the enemy was in this hex, but Dojo's forces, they left the hex, so our light bomber follows them more or less and attack now the city here. So, and this is normally not what I want, because cities and bases, they have simply normally more flak. So attack here will in the future have higher damage airplanes or even killed by flak. Today we was a little lucky. Looks like that maybe Dojo don't have so much flak here now, but it's simply too risky to attack a base like this. Also will not help me because I don't want to attack this base here. Okay. nothing. Okay. Maybe I have to bring here some maybe best zero fighters to at least try to stop this B-17s, because maybe sooner or later they hit something and then it will be a little unlucky. And I don't know, the Nate you can forget, Cloud fighters you also can forget, they only have light machine guns. Then you can maybe bring your Oscars 1Cs, but we don't have so many of them, and most of them are in China or in Burma, or close to Burma, Thailand. And Zeros have the advantage, they can fly very far away, so it's more easy to shift them around. And they have this 20mm cannons, and this B-17s, they have a lot of hit points and they have armor, so as you would say that you need normally this heavy, you need these cannons to really down a B-17. But I'm luckily that so far all these B-17s attacked are very small, and I think they don't have any impact up to now. Good. So in Cooktown there's some Navy units, but we don't have anything I think fly too far away. Or I think I also don't allow them to fly too far away, because they are normally interceptors, and if they're our Nell and Betty bombers, they really don't like any kind of interceptors, so we had this issue in the Philippines. Betty bombs, they are really good, but they're so easily gets killed, they have no armor, no hit points. And you train this kind of pilot so long time, because they must learn so many skills. And then you have one shitty attack in running in enemy cap fighters, and then you lose 20-30 bombers. This is terrible. Here is now a thunderstorm, so normally all our air attacks today will have already before we have nearly no impact, and now we have no impact at all. But at least we can try. Okay, in the morning we had bad weather, but now at least we get a second attack on Colombo port. Now we are only a little unlucky because we have no escort fighters here. For some reason the escort fighters don't take off. And now these hurricanes can attack our port strike. And this normally means that our port strike will have not high efficiency. The only question I don't know is if this is related to the stack. If a fighter attacks this stack, that all airplanes in this stack will have lower efficiency. On this now he attacks this stack, so this also have lower efficiency. Or if the attack is more really only on the stack, which wing he attacked. Because he attacked now all three of the, but the game bunch all units together from the different carriers, and they're different air wings normally. They are only the same type of air wings, so you can see this is the B5N1 and B5N2, so they can come from different carriers, so they're also different air wings, and so I really don't know how the game will calculate this. So but it doesn't matter. If we see we hit here something, then it's okay, and we can see there's a next 800 kilogram bomb hit and the next penetration, and again explosion below, so and more. So what we know is after last turn we hit maybe 5-6 times the Prince of Wales with 800 kilogram bombs, because 250 kilogram bombs normally they will damage something, maybe destroy some surface stuff like the radar, but this will not really destroy the ship. But the Prince of Wales is still intact. Now we make the 14-inch gun tower destroyed. Oof. So this means now that the Prince of Wales at least lost one of his heavy gun equipment, and this also needs a lot of time normally to repair. So the damage mounting up, and there's the next radar is now destroyed. So I think this looks like the Prince of Wales. There's not more much left of this ship. If the radars are all destroyed, the flag are all destroyed, and also the main battery is now destroyed, at least partially, then I don't know how long it needs to repair this kind of stuff. Okay. There's an AP we just hit. The Prince of Wales is still not broken completely. So you can also see 800 kilogram bombs is simply not the same impact like a torpedo. 4 or 5 torpedoes are always enough for every kind of battleship. I mean, maybe not the Yamatos, they can maybe handle 10, but you can see how many 800 kilogram bomb hit we already have on a damaged battleship, and still looks like not completely destroyed. Okay, there's another submarine tender. Normally they are mostly, most of the tenders are have higher point values, and destroying submarine tenders I think is always good. It simply will, yeah, not allow Dojo or the allied player in this guy to operate submarines from the forward bases. He must often go back to a bigger port to rearm the torpedoes. Luckily, one of the Hurricanes have to return to base. One more of our dive bombers. Okay. I mean, he maybe killed 4 or 5 our airplanes, but yeah, we lost now 1, 2, 3, 4. And many are damaged, but this is often only small damage, this means not too much. But we still get 15 additional bomb hits with Prince of Wales. I don't know how many, but maybe like 5 800 kilogram bomb hits, and you can see heavy fires, heavy damage, so this is a wreck. I don't think that this ship, even if it's not destroyed, it's completely broken now. And 1 AP is sunk, but this is, I think, from this Dutch is only 5 points. Light cargo ship also from the Dutch. But many heavy damage. Normally everything is heavy damage or sunk. So whatever was in this port is now more or less broken for the next weeks or months. And the battleship maybe for the rest of the game. It will be only a question if the ship is now totally broken, but still alive, what he can do with this. I don't know how long he need to fix the damage and then maybe try to limp out here and maybe bring it to Bombay, because Bombay is of course always much more safe than Colombo. But this is a very long distance, and maybe you must go from one port to the next port and always make sure that the flotation damage not increase, and then from Bombay more up here the coast, and then bring it slowly up to Karachi, and then maybe from Karachi can go to Abadan or Aden, because I think a ship cannot sink in the off-map area. I think this is not possible. Well, we will see. Okay, airstrike again. But yeah, I mean with thunderstorm, nothing. Too little support for our Navy Guard units Looks like I must bring in the battleships again. Oh, the Marauders again. I mean, of course, if some allied player or pilot try to attack the most lowest value ship at all, because this is a 1-point ship. This is not only a sub-chaser, it's a sub-chaser assistant. So this is only, they are only good for this shallow water stuff, but they really have only a value of 1 point. And but maybe this task force only have this guy, okay. But better he attacks this kind super mini ships and not my good cargo ships here up. So thank you, Dojo, that your pilots are so skillful. But maybe not the pilot's wrong, maybe the commander's wrong. Maybe the air HQ say, go there, hit this sub-chaser. Who knows, maybe you have shitty commanders. Because I also don't know if the air HQ and the air wing is the same hex, who will make the decision of the attack? The air HQ or the air wing? If they are, I mean, if the command chain is correct. If the air wing belongs to the air HQ, normally the air HQ will make a decision which target you attack. Okay, more thinking sounds. So, maybe Prince of Wales went down, I don't know. Sooner or later, I think I will come back to Colombo. And maybe we will find, I mean, if this Prince of Wales not go down now, maybe, I don't know how fast I can create a new strike. Okay, now they give up. So these are this broken Chinese forces. I don't know how often we kick them, kick 3 times, 4 times. And they had an attack value of 7, so... And then from the 7 they're dropping to a 1, so... They give up already. And there you can see no Japanese, not even gets hurt, disabled. So... And their allies, the Chinese, they give completely up. So this is a 29th Chinese Corps... Group army, other group army. So these are normally I think this has in the HQs and this has the fighting forces. Yeah, this is our bombardment only to test the defense. This is normally still too strong. This is Dojo again, try to hurt us, but nothing happened normally. And here's the same in Port Moresby. He tried to test our values and this time nothing happened. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is the end. Normally. Yeah. Okay, we arrive at the 23rd of February 1942. So we are, I think, exactly 1 month behind. Or maybe we are at 25th of March already now. Something like this. We will soon arrive in April, that for sure. And but here we are also soon arriving in March, so 1 month behind. And Dojo told me, I think me more or less he won't keep it like this. That we always stay on YouTube 1 month behind, so that I think no one can by accident or in purpose spoil some information. So because if you have a gap of 1 month, that is so far behind that it's normally impossible to leak any secrets. Of course you can still say the ship sunk, or no, the ship not sunk, or like this, blah blah blah. But normally I think in game, I think also after 1 month or latest after 2 months is incorrect thinking or like this, or they are sunk something but you don't get this information first. After 1 or 2 months you will get update information. Okay. So let's check first the intelligence report. You can see that we lost 5 to 10 and 5, I think most of this Bombay stuff. And we lost some operation losses, but more or less I would say this is okay. If we strike some strong airbase with flag and defender, especially the one strike without escort fighters, then we will suffer a little more. That is okay for me. I would say if we, yeah, and we also don't lose anything crazy high. It's just okay. So Dojo lost 10, we lost 18. Okay. And our fighters fight equally 7 to 7. So from the airframe point of view, you can say it's okay. But of course, we lost, I think for sure, all of the 7. Maybe not, we lost only 5 in the air. So these 5 pilots are normally lost. They are missing in action or they are killed in action. And Dojo maybe don't lose any pilots, but at least he lost the airframes. And I don't know how the British, I think compared to the Americans, they will not produce so many airframes. So the British, they have the good pilots, similar to the Japanese, but they don't have unlimited resources like the Americans. So they have still problems with to reinforce units. But I don't know if this will change later. But normally the British have they have Germany still to battle. At this stage of the war in Africa, in Russia, I mean, the British also send airplanes to Russia, so we will see. And we can see here 3 dive bombers killed in the air. Okay, this is unlucky. And one of our better dive bombers and one of our older torpedo bombers. So 5 strike bombers or strike aircraft gets killed and 5 of our fighters gets killed air to air. Yeah, it's okay. And here's 1 Hurricane more. So Dojo lost 8 Hurricane first class fighters. Okay. And also 1 Catalina gets killed in the air. Okay, this is also good. I don't know where, but somewhere. Must be one of our cap fighters killed one of these Catalinas. Okay. So means 6 pilots killed, 2 wounded and 2 are missing. So we really lost 8 pilots. And we check here again. The 8 pilots, these are the 5 from the zeros, and maybe this 5 from Yeah, I don't know how this works, because normally if you get killed over Bombay, how we want to return. But somehow it looks, we only lost 8 pilots. But we have here 5, 3, so these are 8, 9, 10 lost airplanes normally. So, because the ops losses, normally I would say these pilots can be wounded. Because if you make a crash landing and then you get hurt, yeah, okay, this is then wounded. But anyway, I don't want this. Yeah, you would simply take the numbers if the game says this is like this and it's like this. And official, the Japanese lost anything? No. The officials sunk only these 2 light cargo ships. But at least I think I get 3 or even more additional sinking feedback, so we know that 3 or 4 more ships go down last turn. So we must wait 1 or 2 months, then the game will normally update this information and then you will know what really happens. But if we go now for allied, if we go now for battleships, old dates, battleships, then you can see now, I think before, at least some days before, there was officially still the sinking of the Prince of Wales. But now the game is saying, no, there is a Prince of Wales in Colombo, so we don't sunk the Prince of Wales. So we lost also the points for this kill. But we still have here 4 battleships, battle cruisers, and the Prince of Wales is more or less a dead ship. But we don't get the points, so the 200 or 220 points are still then lost for us. But maybe another day. Maybe another day. Good. Anything else here? Not really first. So we had these 2 battles, 3 battles. This time we had 3 battles in China. We won them all. And that is, typical for the Japanese army. They're only Chinese. And we are glorious Japanese God chosen one. And not some barbarian primitives living in the caves and have no culture. Because everyone knows that all culture comes from Japan, original to China. Not that there's anyone in China tells it lie that China start with culture and bring the culture to Japan. That is a terrible, terrible lie. Okay. We also can see that here this force has escaped us, and here's one more force, but I think we kicked them out, so it will be hard to get them. There are 20,000 guys. If they can escape, it's a little pity, but this is a game. The game decides where you run away. Sometimes it was in our favor or my favor that they jumping somewhere in this direction, and this is of course all Japanese control direction. In this case, they're making the right jump, because where they won't run to their own line. If they jump now on this side of the river, this would be strange, but yeah. So they escape, but at least they get there. Even if they can escape, it means we have a clear line. This is all Japanese controlled and this is all Chinese controlled. And I have my piece and Dojo have his units, but Dojo must reinforce his units. They need a lot of supplies to fix them. So 2-3 months you need to fix these units, I would say. And if I kill them, after 3 months they even come back, so at the end it's not really big change. Here's still this super big units, 28 units, 200,000 guys, but no tanks. So you can see that the Chinese, I think they don't have, I don't know if they have ever any tanks. I never see any tanks from the Chinese. No, they have guns, but they have no tanks. Maybe later in the game they get some Shermans. So yeah, the big point is that we take Yan'an, and we use now the full the Northern Chinese headquarters here with Northern Chinese. This is why I use this headquarter here. These units belong to the Northern Chinese army more or less, and at least the guys with attack value. And this is why I also bring here this headquarter. Then he can give his land skills and leadership and inspiration to his units, and they fight better. But in this case, they would simply only run away. So there was no fight. Simply because we starved them out, he had to choose, and he chose to run. No. Okay. Here we arrive at the gates or doors of Lengshou, but I need some information how many units are here. So far I only see 3, but I don't know how strong they are. And normally this is an important city. So if Dojo is not completely surprised, he have here more. Or this has 3 strong units, I don't know. And I also have here not too much. 300 attack value. It's I better get some scout information, recon information, because now I have here no recon information. So yeah, I need here additional intelligence information. And here we walking slowly on the city. This city you normally don't have much power because it's too far away and there is normally nothing here. Yeah, I mean all the cities have no real value. Only Orochmi, with the capital of Inner Mongolia, have maybe some value and potentially it's worth to defend it. You need also a garrison here, so at least there must be something, or Dojo will lose points. So China at all is very always slow, but so far I see nothing can stop me. I'm still win 99% of the battles, and I see nothing strong enough to really stay in my way. I mean, of course this is maybe a strong defense, but I don't even want go here. So he can be strong here. It will be maybe at the end in my favor, because while the units are here, cannot help in the north or cannot help here in the south. But we will see for this. Yeah, Thailand, Burma. Yeah, like I said before, we're walking. And we're walking slowly. And we just arrived here. So maybe I wait one turn that the rest also can arrive, because there's still some, you can see there, some units are still on the way. Maybe, I don't know, this unit needs some rest. Oh yeah, they also need some rest, so maybe of course, and maybe I can make one day rest here, and then we start to cross the mountains. Okie dokie. Oh yeah, by the way, we have still our heavy cruisers here. And one repair ship, and the destroyers are already escorts, they are already fixed, they are only light damage. And my heavy cruisers are also simply going slowly up. Every turn you get 1 or 2 fixed points here. So the most critical damage I think is over here. And the repair ship take care of this unit. This is more damage. The other one was only lightly damaged. This guy is a little more had a more tough time, but we fixed it. You can see the flotation damage already is the minimum, so maybe sooner or later we'll start to bring this unit first to Georgetown. Georgetown is already a bigger port and more safe, and then maybe back to Singapore. Singapore is simply only we have only a ship, this is only at level 20, so only 20,000 capacity. And each of these heavy cruisers have 14,000, so we need normally at least a capacity of 30,000 in Singapore before we can really dock them both. And the other problem is that normally Singapore will have always something in the shipyard. So you can see that out of the 20,000, we already blocked 15,500. So the shipyard of Singapore is for still at least 1 week completely blocked. And in 1 week, my carrier fleet and the other forces are back. And you can see that they all have some damage over time. So it's not that they have no real engagement, but they need always a little fixed time. There's not major damage, so don't must stay in the shipyard. But they're only soft damage, so more or less. But we still have to arrive at the port. You can also see that we are very low on fuel now. And we are also burned out of torpedoes. We have also not more many, so I mean 50% of our sorties are over, well, consumed. Here is completely nothing left. And here is also nothing more left. So this carrier fleet is at the lower point of operational. So you saw we had this double strike on Bombay. Yeah, we make 2 strikes on Bombay, and we're making I think 3 or 4 strikes on Colombo. And now we are at, you can say 70 to 80% is now consumed. And I would simply never go lower than this. You need always a little left for your own cap fighters, or it's very dangerous. I would say it's not it's not a good tactic to completely empty your sorties of your carriers. You maybe will regret it one day. And so now we can more or less say, okay, it's enough, let's go back to Singapore. We lost airplanes, yeah, we lost some pilots, yeah, but all our ships, I think we lost not one ship, no enemy counter-strike happened. So we have here some damage, but all soft damage, so maybe 1 week and then we can fix this all. Yeah, we only must use our tankers, they are here. I wait them because I don't want to bring them here nearby and then have an airstrike on the tanker. So now we can, I think, safely say we are out of reach, because the torpedo bombers of the British only have 4, 5, 6 range. So if we go now this direction and we meet us here in this area, then if there's not a submarine and I have a lucky hit, then all is fine. Yeah, and I checked here the spaces, but somehow we found nothing. I thought we will find something, but looks like there is... our battleships run here, but... Maybe Dojo runs some other place. Maybe... Because this we check normally with our carrier. Normally this one... Oh, yeah. Somehow, maybe we miss something, but it's never perfect. Never. And here also, we saw here 2 task forces, but... our cruiser is already back here. Yeah. I think this was a mistake from my side. This is the problem with the 2-turn stuff. We was here, more or less, and we saw maybe the enemy task was here and here. And I tried to catch them, and because I know they are close to the port, I had to change them for full speed. But if I stay here with full speed and come here close to Calcutta and let them stay on the station, there's a high possibility that there's an airstrike on my... And these are only... I mean, they are only heavy cruisers. So I cannot stay there, or the chance if I stay there is very high that I have an airstrike on my ships. And then... So I say, okay, retirement allowed. But the game have not the option to say go full speed up to this waypoint and then change the speed. That is really missing in this game, and this is really hard for... This is really a big disadvantage in this 2-turn stuff. So far I know there's no way that you tell a task force run from this hex to this hex in full speed, then change your speed from this hex to this hex, go to normal speed. And of course, normally I would say this is totally makes sense that you can give this command. Of course you can tell the commander rush to this position and then slow down and save your fuel. Maybe if you know a trick you can let me know, but I don't think there's anything like this. So and this is now a little, I mean it's not super, it was a little unlucky, we hit nothing, and I think also this ship gets some engine damage, because if you run a task force on full speed you normally always damage your engine. You not only burn a lot of fuel, I think triple the amount of fuel or even more, you also will have always major damage to your engines, sometimes more, sometimes less, and I think the heavy cruisers also have a little, you can see they have a little major damage, they have nothing. So I think 3 units have major damage. I mean 2 or 3 is still not too much, maybe 1 week in the shipyard is enough to fix this. Goody. Yeah, but this is now the end of the second India operation raid for the Japanese task force. Now I have to bring back my ships to repair them, maintenance them, and also the carriers are now a little burned out. You can see from maximum 72 we are down to 53. We lost here some zeros, we lost some dive bombers, we lost some torpedo bombers. So I have to reinforce this kind of units, and Some have only light losses. Of course, a main carrier with maximum 72 have simply higher losses because they bring out more. This was a lucky one because looks like only we lost 2 of our Zero fighters. So we lost here 3 airplanes, but we get 6 kills. Not so bad. 1 missing and 1 killed. 2 pilots, but 3 airplanes, but 6 hits. That's okay. It's okay. And these pilots are all not super crazy good because they are still... They're okay, but I mean this is a better one, but you can see that some I have additional forces, and it's too early in the game to have really full trained backup guys. Maybe in April, May I have so many backup guys that I can make sure that all frontline fighters have always an air level at least of 66 or like this. Yeah, okay, this is the second carrier fleet, and here we take the base, and normally now we take this base, and then we have completely, well, okay, here's one British base, but then we control here all of Borneo. This base have normally nothing, it's not so important, but better take it. Here we take the resources, the manpower is okay, but who cares the manpower, but we take all the resources, so even more resources. Not that I really need any resources. And this is, I think, our, this is a submarine patrol, because here Dojo have here, I think for sure, submarines, and I mean, he know that I'm coming, and if now he know where I have my base, so he know I must go to this base, so he will normally try to set up here every submarine he can find to try to interdict my shipping line. And we will see how the next 2-3 turns, next 6-7 turns, I will have to carry here a lot of stuff from the Philippines. All the stuff from Philippines must go down here. And he can try to hit me here, or he hit me here in the deep water. So you can see that there's task forces coming. Yes, always try to find the enemies. Yeah. So this is one task force is coming. This is invasion fleet. This is going to Manila to pick up stuff. This is going to Balikpapan. And this is also the next invasion fleet. So we can bring here, we bring here normally everything. I think I bring first, let's check what is missing. Yeah, the 16th army is still here. So normally I think then the 14... Here. Yeah, the 14th army is coming here. So we're landing with the 14th army first, and I think the 14th army can go then for Surabaya, and after we bring all of the 14th army, I bring all of the 16th army, and then the 16th army can go to Batavia. And depending how I get here intelligence, but I first ship it like this. Then I will make recon pictures. I must bring here some additional stuff. I have normal recon airplanes here, and I also have recon planes here. I must organize this, bring this all to the Java, and then I can make a lot of pictures, and then I know where the Dojo have his forces. Normally you have everything in Surabaya and everything in Batavia, because these two bases are the most important stuff. For me, I would say Surabaya is normally more important because it's a shipyard. And this is the best base to operate everything against the west coast of Australia. Good. So we're picking up here some bases, not so important, but and here we have we know that here is some submarines of 2 submarines, looks like 2 ships. 2 submarines are trying to interdict us, but this is a battleship formation. I simply this is normally not the best setup, of course, but I won't bring early on a lot of firepower, because I'm a little worried that maybe Dojo try to attack me, and drive me out of the hex. And if this happens, my forces will be broken for a very long time. And I really simply only want to keep the pressure on his forces. And at the same time, I try to reduce Dojo's attack value, and this is one stuff I can try to reduce Dojo's attack value. And I normally have to organize here this is my pickup forces. You can see I bring here, after I realize, oh no, this is not enough, I immediately send out my pickup forces and take these 2 additional Navy Guard units and will bring them, maybe I will, because they are ready for Shortlands in Tulagi. So they pick up the forces, go Shortlands, take Tulagi and Shortlands, and after that they can go for Port Moresby. Yeah, but I mean, this needs 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns. In 5 turns we can maybe bring additional fighting force to Port Moresby. So maybe in 6 or 7 turns, means in 1 or 2 weeks. So maybe around 5th to 10th of March we can try to take Port Moresby. This is roughly my estimation on what time we will need to finish this. Good, I think we don't have anything else first. Philippines is only clean up. Okay, one other stuff I talked about this maybe already, but it's something I want to explain shortly again, especially with the Japanese, but you can also use this for the Americans, is this tracker stuff. And if you open this tracker software, the problem is only that it's sometimes broken. No, don't do this. You can go for ship classes, and then you can choose the country you are looking for. In this case I have only the Japanese Navy, because the Japanese army have no ships. The others is allies, so I don't know this. Then you can choose here also additional what class you want. You can do this, but you can already see here it's based on the ID number. Every ship have an ID number. And then you can see that this is original, this is a light cruiser. And this is more or less the setup. This is the starter setup, 1241, so December of 41. The game starts with this. And then you can see here, you can see the nation, what class it is, and then you see how many ships you have. This is the number active ships. And these are ships under construction. You can see that we have, and this is more or less, and then you can see there are different ID numbers, and this is the upgrade level. So this is the same ship, but then it's February 42. And this is the next upgrade level, April 43. And the last level is then February 44. And you can always see this here, upgrade to 103 or 1003. Upgrade to 1004. At the same time, you can also see this is only upgrade to 1003. Oh, okay, you can only upgrade this. And I think I did this. Then you arrive at this 1003 level. And then you can see, okay, now you can upgrade to 2004 at February of 42. But you also convert this ship to a CLAA, so it means Light Cruiser Anti-Aircraft. This is a conversion, this is not an upgrade. And then you can see, the same type of ship, because this is a type, have not only CL, it have also the CLAA. And you can see that there's 2. So I had these 2 ships, you have only 2 at the beginning, and you will never get more of this type. And I start to convert them. They are still under construction, but the ship is ready already. They are not a new build ships, they are only converting. So the game say you have them already. But I only don't know, yeah, you don't get information how long it needs, but I think it's needed 160 days to convert them. There's no information here about this now. And if you go here, you only see here is, yeah, okay. But if you in the game, you can touch it and then you will get the information what is the requirement for this, because so far I see there's only, yeah, you cannot get any information here. You don't know how long it needs, no. But I did this because these ships can convert to a CLA, and then I think these light cruisers are not really strong, and if you have the chance to bring them to a light cruiser anti-aircraft, this is much more useful for this. You can add these ships to your carrier fleet or battleships, depending what you want. But I would say, I think they are best for carrier fleet operation. Simply they give you, compared to the size of the ship, because this is only 4,000 ton ship, this is really a light cruiser. But you get enough firepower. Especially you get this long range anti-aircraft stuff, and this is what you need, because only the long range anti-aircraft stuff will protect your task force. All these light machine guns only protect the ship, but not protect other ships. So protecting for task force, protecting for your own ship. Oh, I mean, I said this already before, but I wonder, if you use a tracker, then you get here this overview. The tracker tell you not simply you have the ships or how many ships are coming. You also can see here very easily what upgrade is possible, at what date you have them, and what is the equipment layout. So get here. So you get all of them. So you see, I start with this setup. Okay, this is February 42. At April 43, I can get here additional stuff. You only, the game tell you not what will come additional. You must only compare it. You see what is the difference. You can see this is as a Model 2 depth chargers. Then you get here the completely Type 2. The difference is more or less this have much more firepower. It's both for deep water, but this one will make much more damage if it hits. This one only make a little damage, but at least it can go deep. And you get also radar, at least the first 21 radar. And then later you upgrade this to 31 and 22 radar. And you can also see here, because different radars, and maybe what is the difference? If you have something like this long range with 100,000, this is always an air radar, because it's crazy high range, and this is always a surface radar. So you can see this is only an air radar. So of course this ship normally need only air radar mostly, but here you get also additional surface radar. So if there's a submarine or some surface battle, this ship also can use this radar to score more hits, let's say this. Good. And of course this you can do with every ship, and you can see here's one ship of this type. Okay, I have only one, it's ready, there's no one else coming. And there's an upgrade first at December 43. So this ship cannot change, I cannot convert this ship. I only can upgrade it to the 1013. This is this one. But this is only possible at December 43. And then you can see the new weapon layout. And then you say, okay, and what is then the next? And then it's this one. And then it's over. So there's never a conversion. You cannot change every light cruiser to anti-aircraft cruiser. So you have only this type of light cruiser you can convert. And there is this Nagara class light cruiser you can convert. And you can already see I have two ships here, one ship of this class, three of this class, two of this class. They all can only be light cruisers, so you only can change this two. And then you have this Nagara, and there you have 6 ships, but nothing is still coming, so they are old ships. They have 7,000 tons. and you can see that you can upgrade them. First you can only upgrade them in the light cruiser formation, but here now you can say, okay, convert this ship. So at 1st of February 44, at least at that point, it was very late in the game, the Japanese Navy realized maybe we need additional anti-aircraft cruisers. Because these light cruisers, they can fight with any cargo ship, and they can fight with any against destroyers. But even British and American, Australian light cruisers, they have 6-inch guns, and they often have better protection. So Japanese light cruisers against enemy allies light cruisers is already uneven fight. So I'm happy if I can change this 6 light cruisers later to anti-aircraft stuff. But it's 1st February 44. And you can first start at that time to convert. So maybe still need 4 or 5 months to convert. Then you can also see 3 more, and you can upgrade. And then you can see here, this is the first class, the Argano. You can see 2 ships under construction. So they are under construction. This ship is not on the map so far. 1 more with the other upgrade path. So you can see these are the first 2. They're coming already with this October 42. So these 2 ships will launch somewhere around this date, but not later than June of 43, or this ship have already this setup. So you can see we get 2 of this, then we get none of this, then we get 1 more with the setup of December 43, and 1 more with August 44. So at that point we have 4 of these ships, and in end of 44 we can even upgrade this again. Then you have your 3 radar sets, 2 air radar sets and 1 surface radar. Good. And here's 1 more. This is a special light cruiser. This is normally the new type of light cruiser the Japanese army won't produce. I think half dozen or like this, but then the war starts and then they stop this. Yeah. This has happened when you start a war. This can happen. So most important is you can see everything. You can also see the upgrade change, and you can see how many ships you have. And you will find out normally with this setup if there's maybe a ship on the map you're missing. Maybe you won't upgrade all your ships to the next, and then, but sometimes there are so many ships in the game, and you don't know more if you really catch them all. And in this combination with the tracker, it's a more easy way to find your ships if you miss something, and also it will show you all upgrade paths. Everything what is possible in the game you find it here. There's no upgrade you will not find here. So you can maybe also think about the future like this. I don't know, if I go now to US Navy, I maybe don't get information if the ship is already here, because this is maybe fog of war. But at least I can see the upgrade path. So I can see here the Pennsylvania original battleship setup, and then you can see the change. No, it's upgrade to 10. Oh, don't ask me what. Oh, I must go to 10. This is the next upgrade. Yeah, February 42. So maybe there are 2 different Pennsylvania starter class. This can be, I don't know what is the difference between them. Yeah, only here is heavy different machine guns. Oh my god, this is so crazy. You can see how the game say this is 1 setup, because I think there are, how many ships of Pennsylvania class the Americans have? 2 or 4 or 3, I don't know. So, but at least I think it looks like each class have at least 1 ship, or it will not have this game setup. And the difference is only 1 heavy machine gun. My god. And then the game says there's a new class. Anyway. So, but both, this upgrade to 10, this upgrade to 11. Oh my goodness. So, this is a 1 setup, and this is the other setup. Okay, but then they looks like after this they both change to the 312. So here they start difference, then they have one upgrade is difference, but in 312 at that point they meet each other and then the ships are the same. Okay, so October 42, the American Navy, they realize, let's make it not overcomplicated, let's have them all the same stuff. And then in March of 43 is one more upgrade. And also there's one more. And this is nearly the end, March of 45. Okay. So, yeah, goody. I don't know if there's a... Normally it's always anti-aircraft stuff and the radar is changing. But maybe the radar is already the same, yeah. Looks like the radar technology of mid of 43 and 45 is no big difference more. Looks like the same radar for me. And here you can play around and you can check here and you can see also the Mexico class, how many upgrades they have, and the American and the Allied player have of course often more. They're making, compared to the Japanese don't have so many upgrade paths, but they are often bigger steps, and I think the Americans have many more smaller steps, at least for the carriers. I think you can also check this only for carriers, and they show me only carrier, and the Lexington is here. So Lexington, this is original start, March 42, June 42, October 42, and then there's a big step. Okay, but you can see that every 3 months is an upgrade up to October, and then there's no real big change more coming. 1 year, one upgrade. But at that point, you don't see here the anti-aircraft value. This is a little piece missing here. Normally you need the information what is the anti-aircraft value, but you can see that here is a lot of 5-inch anti-aircraft stuff. And you can also see here again, this is a long-range anti-aircraft stuff with a range of 18,000. So if you want to attack this carrier and don't suffer flak damage, you must fly at least 19,000. And out of 19,000 it's hard to hit something. And you cannot make any torpedo attack and no dive attacks, and only horizontal level attack. So, yeah. And the next, this is this long range stuff. And then you can see their allies, British, everyone, they have this 40mm Bofors. And this is something like a medium anti-aircraft stuff. And you can see the range of 6,000. And because the allies have this medium flag of 6,000, I tell my level attack bombers fly in 7,000. So means if I make a level attack, this gun cannot normally damage the airplane, but this guns can do. And then you have this 20mm guns, and this is similar to what the Japanese have. The Japanese have this light flag. So it means normally for the allies it's best to fly in 5,000, because if you are more close to your target, it's likely more high. The chance to hit something is higher. But so I would base my attack altitude on the anti-aircraft equipment an enemy normally have. And so because I don't think that there's really something between this. You have 4,000, 6,000, and then there's really long range. I don't think that there's a really there's nothing with 8,000 or like this. No. Maybe the British have something. We can check the British. Also 4,000, 6,000, 4,000, 6,000, and 21,000. So 4, 6, almost 6,000 attack. No. So you can see I will fly normally always the 7000. Of course, I would also say if you fly lower, the anti-aircraft of these heavy guns have more tendency to hurt your airplane. If you fly higher, even these guns, they can hit you, but they have maybe less chance to hit you. But it's still, I would say, I attack because I want hit. And yeah, if I want to play it 100% safe, I would fly in maybe 20,000 or something like this, or 19,000 to avoid this attack. But you can see then, or I almost normally fly 22,000. If I fly 22,000, I can avoid all this British heavy flak stuff. But then this is maybe still not enough for the Americans. And yeah. And only to compare this to the Japanese, they also can go 21,000. This is not a flag more. 17,000, yeah. So this is a typical anti-aircraft stuff what most of the carriers have later in the game. So 16,000. So if you want to avoid most of the Japanese flag, you must fly in 17,000, I would say. At least 17,000. And I think the best carrier the Japanese have, Taiyo. Yeah. You can see the Taiyo, they have this very, very good anti-aircraft gun. They going up to 21,000. And they can, this is, some say this is maybe the best anti-aircraft gun in the war. But only the gun. I don't talk about the grenade and the detection and the fuel system. But the gun itself have a super long range. You can shoot it very fast, but the barrel will burn out also very fast. But it doesn't matter. I mean, even if after every airstrike I must change the barrel of this gun, but if my anti-aircraft was able to stop the enemy attack, then it did what their job was. So to change some barrel is much better to lose the carrier. But unluckily, I think for the Japanese, anti-aircraft was great, but the torpedo system was not so great, and there was a design flaw, and at the end I think the Taiyo was sunk by an American submarine. I mean, it was in 1944, and at that time the American submarines were so successful and the Japanese had simply no chance to win the war more. You can read about this. Normally the Japanese already end of 1943 they suffer so high losses against the submarine warfare of the Americans. There was no way more to turn this around. Anyway, I think this is first enough. Use this tracker, get used to it. It will tell you many stuff, and this upgrade stuff also helps a lot. Tell you if there's some ships coming and if there's something missing maybe, and so on and so on. See you all. Take care. Bye bye.